Do you struggle to defend Chalet? In this video, I'm going to go through everything from rotates, reinforcements, what operators you should run, utility placement, and everything to do with how to defend Chalet. Okay, so the first site is going to be master/office, and the first thing I'll talk about is what operators you should be picking. And so that first operator that you should pick is anybody to make rotates like smoke, mute, frost, anybody with a shotgun or impacts if you want. Next is Jaeger or Mai. Just to help with the flashes and nades coming into sight, and also to stop them from getting the shield. And that brings me to the next thing, and anybody with a shield, frost, Tachanka, anybody with a shield, whatever. Also, you need somebody with wall denial, bandit, mute, or Cade. And last, you need probably a trap operator or just anybody to frag out. I recommend running a trap operator just to stop people from rushing up the staircases that you're not really watching. So yeah. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is which side you should make the rotate in between sites. And for me, I make it on the left side like this, just so you can crouch through it and you can peek this door or peek the breach, whatever you want to do, and you'll be protected from this wall. But some people, they like to make it on the right side like this. And the reason why you would make it on the right side is because if you have it on the left side, this window right here, which I'll show up on the screen, if someone's rappelling on this window, they get an angle on the piano and they can shoot who's ever in that area through the doorway. But on the right side, you don't get that same angle when rappelling on this window. And another thing is, if you make the rotate on the right side, if you're trying to rotate through, you're going to be exposed to that door and obviously the breach in the other door. But if you make it on the left side, you can be covered from that door and then peek the door. So yeah, you just got to keep that in mind. What do you want to do for the trade-off? Do you want to get rid of the angle on the piano, or do you want to be able to rotate through more safely and peek this door? It's kind of preference if you want to do either side. The next thing you want to do is make head holes all throughout this wall in between either rotate that you're doing. And this obviously allows you to look into sight from even all the way back here. You can look into sight. You can look into sight from like over here. You can look at the breach or the head holes. Now obviously it works both ways. You could just reinforce this off, or whatever side you make the rotate on, reinforce the other side. But I like to just have it open with head holes because I never really try to rotate through or try to rotate through this area. So I just like to make head holes because usually I'm either back here or whatever, holding off like the walk-ins or the wall or whatever. The next thing, you're going to want to reinforce both of these walls off, and you want to put your wall denial on both of these walls. So your bandits go on this wall, your mute jammer would go on this wall, and your Cade would go on this wall. And if you're playing Cade, you can put it below as well. Just keep that in mind. Okay, and so the next thing is what wall to reinforce and what wall to make head holes on right here. And so for me, I put it on this side because whatever wall denial you have, so let's say you have bandits on this or a mute in the middle, if they're on the other side of this wall, if this wall is soft, I can, wall bang the mute jammer. Like, you have to be fully exposed to anybody over here to shoot it if this wall is soft. Whereas if this wall is soft and that wall is reinforced, I can be, back here on the stairs, whatever, and I can wall bang the bandit, mute, or Cade. So that's why I like to make the head holes right there and reinforce this wall. And next thing is putting your rotate through closet. I like to put it on the right side, kind of towards the middle, and I like it to be standing. And the reason for this shotgun sucks, but the reason for this is because if you're going to be rotating through here, obviously if someone's on big window, they're going to see you if you try to rotate through. So if you have it on the right side, you can run through if you want. That's why I like to have it standing. I could try to run through. Now obviously if the person's actively watching this, you're still going to get lasered if you try to run through. And next thing, you can reinforce off this wall or both walls just to make it easier to rotate through, because there's a window on the other side of this, and if it's soft, they can wall bang you. Now for shield placement, there's two places I'd recommend, or you could do both at the same time, because Ella has a shield and she's also a trap operator. Now for your first shield placement, I would put it on top of this shield, and this, I talked about this in my how to play smoke video, but basically you can swing out of it like this. You can peek the breach, you can peek the door, and also if you're playing smoke like I was, you can throw your smokes out, or you can throw your C4s safely, whatever you want to do from here. The next shield spot I recommend is right about here on the library like hallway near the stairs. You can place your Jaeger device right here so you can't be naded. And if anybody, you will need somebody playing in library or around library, which I'll get into that in a second on how to do that. You can have your barbed wire down here or your Ella mines, whatever, Legion mines, whatever, to let them know if someone's coming up, because if you get it right around here, you're going to see the person playing behind the shield. So if you have your barbed wire or whatever trap you have, then the person that's playing the shield is going to know. And basically this shield allows you to cover anybody that's trying to jump in the breach, and anybody that walks in this hallway. And this is a pretty crucial point for the attacker's push, so you gotta hold this off with the shield, and it just makes their push a lot harder because that area is very important for them getting the wall open and all that, so that's why you want to use the shield. Alright, so now I want to talk about how to actually set up the play library and defend library. So first thing, you want to reinforce this wall right here, and then you want to reinforce the wall on the opposite side, and also make sure you reinforce this wall in this little area. And the way I like to make the head holes is just make it all the way across on this wall and then just make one little peek hole right there. And basically what that does is it allows you, so if I were to be playing in this little closet area, I can peek the window like this from that hole, and I can also peek anybody over there if I wanted to on the stairs. And you can make this too wide just to make that easier, or you could just make it go all the way across, and basically you can peek those people if you wanted to, but it's mainly for the window. And with this one right over here, usually you have someone playing in this area to just hold off the windows or anybody trying to enter library. So if someone jumps in this double window over here, boom, I can swing out and use this reinforcement in the head holes to kill them, or the opposite window, whatever. Yeah, and basically you can just hold down this entire area, because the main push that a lot of people do is a library take, because it gives you a lot of map control, and you're basically clearing out this entire area as an attacker. So the players that are getting the wall open can basically, you know, be safe, and you guys can hold this area down. Yeah, that's basically how you defend library. Use these holes in these reinforcements. And the next thing is where you should put your traps. So you should basically be trying to fend off any staircase. So your Legion mines or your Ela mines, whoever you're running, you can place it on these staircase or this staircase over here, library staircase, and Astro. And when I said or, I meant to say and. So you can defend all of those staircases with any operator. Like Ela can place all of hers on the 3 staircases, and Legion obviously can place multiple mines on the staircases. And I'd say the most important one is probably Astro, because if you're not paying attention to Astro as an attacker, they can just easily walk up and be right outside sight, and it's kind of hard for you to fend it off if you're not watching it. And another thing, if you try to like sit in this area, they can nade you below, they can hop on this rappel. You basically got to be wary about this, and traps just basically allow you to combat that, so you obviously know when someone's going to try to walk up, and you can defend it off like this or swing out, whatever you want to try to do. And same thing with all the other staircases. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's get on to the next site. Okay, for this next site, we're going to be on bar/gaming room, and for this site, you're going to need to play above with shields and stuff, and then also you need some traps, and obviously someone to make rotates. So for the operators I would recommend someone, like I said, to make rotates. So either a smoke or a mute, frost. You could use Legion now that he has a super shorty. Then you're going to need a shield, so frost, Ela, wooden, whoever you want to run for that. And for traps, I'd recommend Thorn and Legion. Now obviously you can run anybody else like Ela and stuff, like I said already. Thorn, she has barbed wire, which you need for this site. She also has a shield if you want to do that, but she has barbed wire, which is what I recommend running, so you can have barbed wire wherever you need it, and you can have your traps. So basically they can't like enter anywhere without you knowing. And Legion, he can make rotates and he can place down his traps. An optimized lineup would like technically be Legion, Thorn, and Ela, and then probably like 2 guns, because they can provide all the traps, they can set up the entire site, and they can have the shields. These 3 operators right here are very good for this site, and also a roamer could be very effective for this site if they're trying to take over, you know, Astro side / kitchen side. Yeah, mainly guns and traps and shields. Okay, so first things first, you want to shoot this music box, whatever it's called, jukebox, whatever, just to get that out of the way. And then I recommend making a rotate next. Now, what I like to do is reinforce this middle wall right here. Or you could do both middle walls. It's kind of, you know, whatever you want to do. But yeah, basically you're going to want to make a rotate either on the left or the right side, which I like to do it on this right side over here, because you're not seen from the window when you're trying to rotate through, and also you're covered from this door. But the only thing you have to worry about is this door right here. And same thing goes for the other side. Like, I can be all the way right here and then rotate through, so I can walk through the door and rotate without being seen from the window. And next you can make head holes on this wall right here, and it's going to go through to the other side, which is what you want. And basically this, you can peek the window, and yeah, you'll be good, and you'll be covered from this reinforcement right here. Next you're going to make a reinforcement right here, and this is just, you know, again, so you can peek through here and still be covered, and we're just going to make that a little bit better. But yeah, you can peek through and still be covered from this reinforcement, and you can peek the left side like this and go back to your reinforcement. And then you want to reinforce this wall. And yeah, that's basically all there is to like the actual site that you want to set up. But where your trap should go, you're probably going to want to put some in mudroom, because this right here, this window is very common for people to just walk in, because it's pretty safe if there's no traps. Like if there's no traps, you just jump in and you swing, you're basically on site. You just got to swing the door or whatever. It's kind of hard to enter, but if you realize your weaknesses, if you realize the defender's weaknesses on attack and they're not paying attention to this and they have no traps in here, it's just a free entry to site and you can try to get a frag or two. But as a defender, if you have traps in there, you're gonna be notified once they enter, so you can, go about how you want to kill them or, stop them from entering. And next, I'd recommend putting traps on this door right here, and you can do whatever you want to these walls. I don't really do anything with them, but you could make a rotate right here or whatever and try to play in kitchen. You could reinforce this wall or both of these walls, but I'm not going to go into that because I don't really know much about it and I don't do it, so yeah. But make sure you're putting traps on this door. Then you're going to put some traps over here in the bottom of fireplace stairs from the basement, and this is just if someone comes into the basement, they're not going to just walk up easily. You'll know if they're coming up, and maybe on the window if you want to, but you're going to hear them break that. So you're also going to need traps and barbed wire on the bottom of the library stairs towards the basement, and don't put them towards the top. This is the case for almost any staircase. Don't put them up here, because if someone's trying to play right here, which is a pretty common spot, if someone's trying to play around here, in the middle of the round, boom, they can just easily get flanked. Like if someone's crouch walking, they're not going to hear this at all, and they're basically just going to get killed. But if you have barbed wire and traps on the bottom, then they'll be good and they'll know when they're coming up. All right, now on to how to actually defend the upstairs part, so it's just harder for them to get the hatches open and play vertical on you. It's the same as when you were defending master/office. You're going to reinforce this wall right here and this wall right here, and then once again make the head holes like I said before, and it's basically the same concept. You can peek the window from this one, and you can peek the double window from these ones like this, and also once again reinforce this one right here in this area right here. And next thing, you're going to want to pop this hatch right here and reinforce this hatch. And it'd be nice if you to put traps on both of these windows. Elemines is probably the best for this spot specifically, but in where your shield goes, you're going to have the first one I would recommend is right here, and make sure you have it backed up like I said, so you can put the Jaeger on this right here and it'll cover the shield, and you're basically protecting the double window area, this hallway thing right here, and all of this area over here near pianos, like if they try to enter from K9. And yeah, you can basically just cover this entire area from here. And the next shield I would place right about like here, and you're covered from this wall right here. You could place it a little bit more forward, but you got to remember there's head holes there, so this wall is soft, so you can be wall banged. Basically what you're doing is you're covering over there once again if they try to walk in from this area, and the same thing over here. It's just a different angle. You can play both at the same time if you want. Just kind of preference on what you want to do. Also, if you want to, you can reinforce these two walls right here, or you could make head holes on them, open it up so the player playing the shield right here basically can see anybody trying to wall bang them or whatever. And same thing with this wall. You could open up these or make footholds here, just trying to, get some more pressure onto them if they're trying to play in any of these areas. The reason why you want to do all this stuff is because if they have second floor control, obviously they're going to get this hatch open, they're going to play vertical onto you, and they can drop the hatch, open up the double window, hop in, smoke it out, and do a plant, and then they have all this area. They can cut off that door when they play vertical. They can cut off all the rotate and stuff. So it's basically just, you don't want that to happen. So you're going to want to at least try to trade your kills for it. So if there's 3 people playing up here, last at least like a minute to 2 minutes or whatever up here before you give it up. And if you do give it up, you want to try to trade your kills, like I said, or trade your bodies, whatever you want to call it, and then you can rotate back down. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Let's get on to the next one. Okay, so the next site is going to be kitchen/dining, and for this site I'd recommend 1 trap operator, 1 shield operator, someone to make head holes and rotates, and then probably like 2 like 1.5 roamer type people like Mozzie, or Mute if you want to run Mute because he can play upstairs. So Mozzie, Mute, you could run Warden, Doc, Wamai, anybody with like roaming potential basically. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is make the rotate right here, standing up like that. Then you're going to make head holes on this wall like that, and on this wall, also on the wall opposite from it. Then you want to reinforce this wall right here, and you can also reinforce this wall where I made head holes, but you don't have to. I don't like to because I can just swing out, but also you can't really play like right here, and when you're about to rotate you can be seen from the head holes. So You just got to keep that in mind. Also, you can reinforce this wall right here, and this basically just allows you to peek the head holes a little bit more safe from the window, so you can be protected, and you can just be protected from the window in general. Next, you want to come into dining and reinforce these two walls, and you're going to want to reinforce this wall right here. Also, I would recommend making footholes right here, so if someone is attacking, walking down this hallway, they're going to be seen from the footholes, and basically they're just going to be, more hesitant to walk down there, and also you can shoot them in the foot. And for the shield, the one down here that I would recommend is right here. You can place your Jaeger or a Mize right here and to protect the shield, and they can hold the whole hallway, the footholes, and yeah. And now we're gonna make head holes onto the trophy window right here and reinforce this wall. Now you could make head holes all the way through, but I like to reinforce this wall. Okay, next thing, you're gonna make head holes onto this wall right here and reinforce this wall. And this allows you to have, an angle on anybody that tries to walk up West Main from these stairs. And you can swing them from over here onto the window as well. Make sure you're also making, traps or barbed wire or proximity alarms on West Main, because this is also just easily, you can just walk up and be right next to site. So yeah, you got to do that. But yeah, that's really all the site setup for downstairs that you need. Now I'm going to talk about what you need to do to hold upstairs. So first thing, you want to either reinforce or pop this hatch. Now I like to reinforce this just because if you do give up this area, which you will be needing to eventually, it makes it harder to just get it open. So if they don't have hard breaches, or if they're not a hard breacher, then they can't just open this late round. Also, I'd recommend making that same rotate that you made when you were defending master, and you're going to want to place a shield right here if you want to place a shield up here. This basically just holds down all this area, and you'll be good. And the trap operator should probably place his traps on K9 door and the piano double door. And also, if you're gonna run a mute or Mozzie, I'd recommend placing a mute jammer or Mozzie right there and on this door as well, and also the back side or any of the windows, wherever you want to place them. That's why mute is very strong. It just makes it harder to drone, and he can pop the hatch if you need to. He can make the rotate. Yeah, basically you can do all that. But yeah, like I said, you probably want to have 2 or 3 roamers up here, and I wouldn't recommend roaming below, like roaming around bar area, because it's not really important for the attackers to get this area. I mean, they do establish some map control, but it's not really that important. But also, as a defender, it's harder to hold these areas because right here there's no rotates unless you make them, and you're basically just like a free kill in this area most of the time. So I wouldn't recommend roaming around those areas. Keep it upstairs, because once again, this library area, you want to hold this off for like the first minute of the round, because this area is very important no matter what site on this map. For the first minute, I recommend holding this off and then falling off and playing near the hatches and stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. Let's get on to the next one. And the next site is going to be basement or snowmobile / wine cellar, whatever you want to call it. And for the operators you want to bring for this site, you're going to need someone to make the head holes and rotates. Also, you're going to need wall denial, bandit, cade, mute, recommended at least bandit or cade, some trap operators with barbed wire. At least you're going to need at least barbed wire, and other people you can just run whoever you want. I'd recommend a roamer. Capcan is good, Azami is good, Fenrir is good. And yeah, this site is less dependent on what operators you pick. It's more about how you play it, as long as you have wall denial and maybe a rotate maker or Jaeger or whatever, but mainly just wall denial. So first things first, you want to reinforce the main wall. Now the next thing, you can either reinforce this wall or make head holes on it. Now if you're gonna make head holes on it, you can hold main stairs and the breach, and you're just a little bit more safe. Now a good thing to do is play Mira, and you can swing the breach. But if you're not playing Mira, if it's reinforced, you have to swing out, and you basically expose your entire body doing this. Whereas if there's head holes, you can see with a little bit less of your body exposed. But most of the time, people like to just reinforce this and then make the rotate. I like to do head holes, but you can do whatever you want. And the next thing you want to do is reinforce all 4 of these walls right here. Now I've seen some people make head holes on this wall or make a rotate over here. Now this is just a default site setup, so if you're gonna do that, then do it. But for the default, you just reinforce all 4 of these off. And also, you're gonna want to reinforce the hatch upstairs. Now you could reinforce both hatches, but the other one is not as important, and it's not usually reinforced, but it's still could be reinforced if you want to. And for your shield, I like to place my shield right about here. And then you can shoot out this left side of this little cabinet right here. And basically what this does is allows you to get like a little angle. So I can peek out like this. Now you could place the shield a little bit more to the left so you're less exposed while doing it. But yeah, you basically can peek out to the left. You can peek out to the right. I broke the shield somehow, but you can peek out to the right, peek out from the top, obviously, and yeah, you'll be good. And once again, you're going to need a Jaeger device if you're going to try to do this. But still, if someone tries to nade this from like swinging out like that, then it's going to be hard for them to peek in and peek out without you killing them. Just if you hear the nade click, just hold an angle like that and just wait for them to peek and you'll get a free kill. But they can also nade from back here. If they throw the nade like this, they're not exposed and they'll get the nade through and it's going to bounce like right about here. So you're going to need a Jaeger device no matter what. Just put it on this door like right about here or over here if you want to. And for trap devices, you're going to need them on main stairs and blue stairs. And also a good tip, if you're running a zombie, put your zombie right here. What is my hand doing? Okay, I don't know why Frost is one-handing her gun, but yeah, besides the point, if you place in a zombie right there, if you're all the way back here, you'll have like a little one-way angle onto people's feet trying to walk down blue. And also you can place your proximity alarms in this little insulation or whatever it's called, and it'll be completely inside the insulation, but it'll still work. But other than that, just place down your barbed wire up at the top and your Legion mines, Ela mines, whatever you're gonna do. And same thing goes for the staircase over here. And also this site, as you can see, the whole thing pretty much is vertical for at least all this area. Oh my god, look at it when I run. What is that? My left hand is going through the gun and my right hand's throwing up gang signs. Since all this is vertical, you're going to want to roam around here. And you could roam upstairs, just holding it off from upstairs and, you know, keeping in mind all the stuff that I told you before with this library setup. You want to do the same thing with the head holes and the reinforcements up here, you can. But yeah, you basically just want to not let them get the hatch open and play vertical for as long as you can. But yeah, that's basically it for basement. I make siege videos 3 times a week, from solo cube map setups to how to defend videos like you just seen, and just general tips. So if you want to see some more, subscribe. But other than that, leave a like, comment, and peace. Bye bye.